studied conditionals, okay? So I'm going to ask you a few questions. I can't hear you all now. Himansa, can you unmute? Is Himansa there? Okay, right. So two of you, tell me what zero conditional is. The sentence structure, an example, and why we use zero conditional. Yes, good. Yes, very good. Things in general which are true everyday, laws, rules, and things we do everyday, habits, etc. Very good. So what is the sentence structure? Now we know in conditionals there are two, we call them, phrases. Okay, so there are two phrases. So in these two phrases, what are the tenses we use? Yes, so both the sentences or both the phrases use clauses. We call them clauses actually. So these two clauses use simple present tense. Can you give me an example, both of you? Write down one example each. Okay. Wait, let me write. Wait, let me share the activity sheet. Okay, if it rains, the grass gets wet. Okay, good. Himansa?
If you heat water Celsius 100 degrees,
If
it boils.
you heat water
Celsius
at 100 degrees Celsius. Okay,
boils.
100 degrees Celsius.
Boils.
You are not clear, Himansa?
It boils.
It boils. Very good. Okay, so both the sentences are correct. I hope you did not copy. Right, now tell me about the first conditional. So when do we use first conditional, and what is the sentence structure, and give me one example. Okay, first tell me why we use first conditional.
අනිවාර්යයෙන්ම වෙන්නේ.
Okay, explain about. Okay, what is going to happen? Okay, so condition is now, there's a situation right now. So if something happens like this, what will happen in the future? So it is something that can come true in the future. So for example, if I win a lottery, I will buy a chocolate company. Okay, so if I win a lottery, mama lottery did not. So the condition is if I win a lottery. Then she says, there is a possibility. It is possible for me to do in future. කියන්නේ අනාගතයේදී කරන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක් ගැන කියන එක. So that is, so in such cases we use first condition. So what is the sentence structure? So there are two clauses, if clause and the main clause. What are the tenses we use in the two clauses? So in the if
present
clause,
simple.
simple present, and in the main clause,
Will.
simple future. Very good. Write down one example each. If we, okay, if he, very good. Himansu?
If it's sunny tomorrow,
If it is sunny, okay?
tomorrow I will go to the surf.
I will go.
Go to the surf.
I will go
surf.
to surf. Okay, I will go to surf. Good. If it is sunny tomorrow, I will go to surf. Right. So both the sentences are correct. So I hope you two are very good at now in these two conditionals. First zero conditional and first conditional. Today we are going to discuss the next conditional. We call it the second conditional. Okay. Can both of you see the screen? Okay, can you quickly go through this small sentence? So this says what this second conditional is about. Okay, so let me read it. The second conditional is used to imagine. Okay, so to imagine present or future situations that are impossible or unlikely in reality. So can you remember in first conditional we talked about future situations which are possible, which are likely to happen. ඒ කියන්නේ සිද්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් ගැන තමයි අපි first conditional එකේ discuss කරන්නේ. But in the second conditional we imagine. So we are not talking about the things in real. We think of things which are present or future that are impossible or unlikely in reality. ඒ කියන්නේ ඇත්තටම ඒවා සිදු වෙන්න විදියක් නැහැ. අපි හිතනවා මේ දේ වුණා නම් ඉදිරියේදී මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්න තිබුණා. හැබැයි එහෙම දෙයක් වෙන්නේ නැහැ කියන එක. Okay, so let's go through a few examples, then you will understand. So keep in mind, in the first conditional, we talk about future situations which are possible or likely to happen. It can සිද්ධ වෙන්න පුළුවන් දේවල් ඉදිරියේදී. But in second conditional, we talk about situations which are impossible or unlikely to happen. ඒ කියන්නේ සිද්ධ වෙන්න අමාරු දේවල් ගැන. අනාගතයේදී සිද්ධ වෙන්න අමාරු දේවල් ගැන තමයි කතා කරන්නේ. So that is second condition. Now look at this example, the first example. Can two of you read it? We could have a So I'll explain you in Sinhala, then it will be easier for you. අපිට garden එකක් තිබුණා නම්. So do we have a garden now?
Yeah.
මේ sentence එකේ විදියට if we had a garden අපිට garden එකක් තිබුණා නම් කියලා කියන්නේ. So does it say that we have a garden?
No.
No. දැන් මේ if clause එකේ කියන විදිහට if we had a garden අපිට garden එකක් තිබුණා නම් ඒ කියන්නේ garden එකක් අපිට නැහැ. Then if we had a garden අපිට තිබ්බ නම් what happens? We could have a cat. අපිට පූසෙක් ඇති කරන්න තිබුණා. Since we don't have a garden, we don't have a cat. In reality, we don't have a garden and we don't have a cat. ඇත්තටම මොකද්ද? ඇත්ත ජීවිතේ මොකද්ද වෙන්නේ? අපිට garden එකක් නැහැ. ඒක නිසා අපිට පූසෙක් නැහැ. So this says අපිට තිබුණා නම් අපි මේ දේවල් ගැන imagine කරනවා. අපි කියන්නේ අපරාධේ මට කාර් එකක් තිබ්බනම් මට අද යන්න තිබුණා මේ ගමන. එහෙම දේවල් කතා කරන්නේ. ඒක ඒ කියන්නේ මට මේ අවස්ථාවේ නැහැ ඒ දේ. ඒක ඒතකොට future එකේ ඒ කියන්නේ මේ හෙට අනිද්දා අපි හිතන අනාගතයේදී ඒ දේ සිද්ධ වෙන්න විදියක් නැහැ. So to talk about these things we use second conditional. Okay, look at this the second sentence and try to understand.
Because in the country.
Okay, if I won a lot of money, මට ගොඩක් සල්ලි තිබ්බනම් එහෙනම් මම මොකක් හරි ලොටරි එකකින් මට ගොඩක් සල්ලි ලැබුණා නම් I'd buy a big house in the country. Country කියන්නේ මෙතන ඒ කියන්නේ කොහේ හරි නිකන් ලස්සන පළාතක කියන එක. Okay? So මට ඒ ලස්සන පළාතක ලොකු ගෙයක් ගන්න තිබුණා. So would it happen? No. It is not going to happen, you know, now or even in future. ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට අපේ ජීවිතේ සිද්ධ නොවන දේවල් ගැන කතා කරනකොට තමයි අපි මේ conditional එක use කරන්නේ. Okay, and look at the third sentence. අපි මේක ගොඩක් අපි we use this sentence in our day-to-day lives. I wouldn't worry if I were you. නැත්තම් මෙහෙමත් කියනවා. If I were you, I wouldn't worry. ඒ කියන්නේ මොකද්ද? සිංහලෙන් කියන්නේ? ඔයාලා මේක ගොඩක් අපි
මට ඔක වුණා නම් මං ඔයා කියන්නේ මං ගණන් ගන්න එක.
මම ඔයා වුණා නම් මං ඒක ගණන් ගන්නෑ. අපි කියනවා නේද?
ඔව්.
ඒක වෙන්න පුළුවන්ද නැද්ද? නෑනේ. In the sense I will never become you. මට ඒ කියන්නේ මට වුණා නම් කියන එකෙන් අපි තේරුම් ගන්න ඒනට අපි කියනවා කියන්නේ මම ඔයා වුණා නම් මම ඒක ගණන් ගන්නෙ නෑ. ඒ වුණාට ඒ දේ සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙන්නේ වෙන කෙනෙක්ට. So this talks about something that is not going to happen. Okay? So to talk about these things, ඒකේ තේරුණා? Did you understand what this second conditional is about?
Yes.
Okay, so to talk about those kind of situations, we use second conditional, and this is the structure. Okay, so now look at this first sentence again. So this is the first sentence. Tell me the if clause of the first sentence.
We had the garden.
Okay, so I'm going to highlight it in green. Okay, if clauses are highlighted in green. So if I had a garden, sorry, if I had a garden, this is the if clause. And show me the if clause of the second sentence.
If I won a lot of money.
If I won a lot of money. What is the if clause of the third sentence?
If I were you.
If I were you. Very good. Now look at the sentence pattern of these three if clauses. Now in the first one, we have if. Okay, so we have if. Then we have the subject we. What is the tense there? Had.
Past had.
So it is past. Which past? Past simple. So here, look at the second if clause. If is there, subject is there I, and the verb is won. So this is simple past. And look at the third clause. If is there, I is there, and were. මෙතන am isa එකේ simple past එක තමයි were. So we have the simple past. So the structure is if plus past simple. Okay, so that is the if clause, the tense of the if clause, right? Now show these three, the remaining three clauses are the main clauses. I'm highlighting them in yellow. Look at the sentences and tell me the sentence structure. So look at the first one. We have the subject, we, and what is this, the tense? Yes, we have could, and here we have could. Look at the second one. In the second one we have would. I කියන්නේ I would කියන එක, okay? I would. And in the third one, it's would not. Wouldn't. Still, it's would in negative form. Okay, so we have I plus the you know, this is again past, but using model could and would. Past, could and would. Okay, so this is past tense. We can't say it's past simple since this is model. Okay, let's consider it as past. So could, would plus then we have the infinitive. Infinitive කියන්නේ වෙනස් කරන්න නැතුව use කරන verb එකකට. Now let me explain it to you what infinitives are. පේනවා නේද මේක screen එක. Now when I say I have a frock, here what is the verb? Yes, have is the verb. Then මෙතන if I use the word she, what happens to the verb?
Have. Has.
It becomes has. So this is when we consider the tense here. So when we consider the tense, this is simple present. So according to simple present, we change has and have, has or have, according to the subject. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මේ කරන කෙනා අනුව එයා singular ද plural ද බලලා tense එක බලලා අපි ඒක වෙනස් කරනවා has have විදියට. Okay? But when we talk about infinitives, infinitive එකක් කියන්නේ ඒක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නැහැ. ඒක දැන් අපි හිතමු අපි අර මේව එකටම යමුකෝ slide එකටම. Now here we could have. මෙතන තියෙන්නේ have. එතකොට දැන් මම මෙතන he දැම්ම නම් මොකද? If he had a garden, he could make a වෙනස් වෙනවද?
Has
නෑ. ඒක වෙනස් වෙන්නේ නෑ. Infinitive එක කියන්නේ infinitive එකක් කියන්නේ ඒකයි. ඒ කියන්නේ subject එක singular ද plural ද tense එකද කියලා බලන්න නැතුව අපි ඒක ඒ විදිහටම තියනවා. දැන් ඒක has have නිසානේ. අපි ගනිමු වෙන මෙන්න මම අනිත් slide එකට යනකම්. Okay, I sing. එතකොට he දැම්ම නම් මෙතන what happens? He sings. Now, if this was past, what happens? He sang. Sorry, he sang. Yes. But when we talk about infinitives, this doesn't change. Now I can say he sang a song. He sang a song to To entertain the audience. Okay. Now look at this sentence. How many verbs are there? Make a main verb එක මොකද්ද?
Sang.
He sang a song. ඒකේ
He sang a song.
sang කියන එක තමයි main verb එක. There's another verb. What is it?
Going to.
Yes, to entertain. Entertain is the other verb in the sentence, but we don't change it. අපි ඒක to entertain විදියටම තියනවා. එතකොට මෙතන he කියන්නේ singular and the tense is past, but we have not changed. අපි entertained කියලා දාලත් නැහැ. ඊට පස්සේ මෙතන he නිසා entertains කියලා දාලත් නැහැ. ඒක present tense වුණා නම් entertains වෙන්න ඕන නේද? මේක he sings වෙන්න ඕන. present simple නම් එහෙනම් මේකත් entertains කරන්න ඕනනේ. When it is an infinitive, we don't change it. Only the main verb we change according to the subject and the tense. Okay? So this is for your extra knowledge. So don't get much confused with it. So for this lesson, you should know what an infinitive is. Now here, look at the first sentence. If we had a garden, we could have. So here we don't change the verb, we keep it as it is. So it is have a cat. This is called infinitive. So could or would plus infinitive. Now here in the second main clause we have the subject I, then would, then infinitive by, a big house in the country. Now in this sentence we have I and then would, could or would. Here we have would in negative form, then worry, infinitive. Okay, so that is the sentence structure of second conditional. And yes, this part, yes, let's finish this also. Can you just go through this highlighted part quickly? Okay, so let me explain this. When if is followed by the verb be, okay, when if is followed by the verb be. So if we have a be verb, what are the be verbs in English? ඉක්මනට කියන be verbs තුන. Am, is, are. But now in the second conditional with the if clause, what is the tense we are using? Simple past. Then what are the simple past be verbs? Very good. Was and were. Himansa, you are following, no? Himansa again,
Yes, madam.
Okay, right. So was, were. Since I'm writing here was, were, because now in this second conditional, if clause has the past simple structure. So be verb, two be verbs are was and were. But when we use in the second conditional with in the if clause, and if we are using a be verb, we call them action verbs. Again, run, sing, eat, dance. ඒ වගේ verbs නැතුව am, is, are. Again, was, were. Use කරනවා නම් we always use were. We don't use was. Okay, we don't use was we only use were. So it is grammatically correct to say if I were, if he were, then if natu api nikan normal sentence එකක් ලියුවා නම් he එක අපි දාන්නේ මොකද්ද be verb එක past tense එකේ. He was. But in this second conditional, we usually use if he were and if she were, if it were. Okay? එතකොට අපි use කරන්න ඕන were. ඒක තමයි grammatically correct form එක. Still if you use was, it's all right. කියලා මේක කියන්නේ. But you know, you as long as you can remember, it's better to use were. කියන්නේ ඔයාලා පුළුවන් තරම් එක මතක තියාගෙන were කියන එක use කරන්න මතක තියාගන්න. So look at these 3 example sentences. First one, if I were you, I wouldn't mention it. So in the if clause, we have if, then subject I, then were, verb in simple past, and the rest. So in the main clause, we have I, subject, then wouldn't, would in negative form, then the infinitive, mention. In the second sentence, if she was prime minister. එතන අපි හරිනම් grammatically correct විදියට දාන්න ඕන මොකද්ද? If she දැන් මම second conditional එකේ කිව්වා was use කරන්න නැතුව පුළුවන් තරම් were use කරන්න කියලා. Okay, so it should be were. If she were the prime minister, she would. එතකොට මෙතන අපිට තියෙන if conditional එකේ if clause එකේ we have if, the subject she, then the present simple verb were. In the main clause we have the subject, then would, and then the infinitive. In the third sentence, if he what is the if clause here? If he was younger. So grammatical correct if clause should be if he were younger. So we have if, then the subject, then the simple past form of be verb were, then the in the main clause we have he, the subject, would plus travel, the infinitive form. Okay, so this is all about second condition. Okay, can you two quickly do these 3 sentences? Prashna තියනවාද? Have you got any questions to ask? So no questions for the time being. දැනට නැහැ. Okay. Right. So you do these 3 sentences quickly. I'll give you 3 minutes. එකක්වත් වරද්දන්න බෑ. Finished.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, first one. What is the answer? I blank.
Would study.
Okay, Himansa?
Third one.
Would study. Okay. Second one. If I didn't need the money, Himansa?
Third one.
Okay. And the third one, what would you say if he?
Second one.
Sorry, I didn't follow.
Second
one. Very good. What would you say if he asked you on a date? Very good. Now, the difficult task. You can convert these 3 sentences into second condition. Sorry, first conditional. Then make a ඉදිරියේදී වෙන්න බැරි දේවල් ගැන කතා කරනවා. Now let's take the first one. I would study English every day if I had time. මට කාලේ තිබුණා නම් මම හැමදාම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා. හැබැයි ඉතින් මට නැති නිසානේ මම එහෙම කියන්නේ. How would you change this to first conditional, to a possible future? Then පිටු පෙරල බලන්න ටක් ගාලා කියන්න පුළුවන් වෙනවා. If I නෑ මේ sentence එකම ඔයාලට tense එක මාර්ක් ගන්න විතරයි තියෙන්නේ.
some simple tense එකට
දැන් මේ if clause එක මොකද්ද මේ sentence? What is the if clause of this sentence? If I had time. මේක කොහොමද change වෙන්න ඕනේ? If I have time. If I have time, how do you change the main clause? I will study English every day. If I have time, I will study English every day. මට කාලේ තියෙනව නම් මම හැමදාම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න. Now in Sinhala it sounds the same. If I had time, මට කාලේ තිබුණා නම් මට ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්න තිබුණා හැමදාම. But first condition එකේ විදිහට මට තියෙනව නම් නේද? මට කාලේ තියෙනව නම් මම හැමදාම ඉංග්‍රීසි ඉගෙන ගන්නවා, which is possible. මට තියෙනව නම් මට කියන්නේ ඉස්සරහට කාලේ තිබුණොත් මම ඉගෙන ගන්නවා, which is the possible future. But if I had time, here we are referring to the second conditional, which talks about impossible future. මට නැති නිසා මම මේ විදිහට කියන්නේ. Okay, right. Second one, can you put it to the first conditional quickly? Okay, so this should be changed. If I didn't becomes present. What is the present tense of didn't? Did එකේ present tense එක මොකක්ද?
do.
Yes. So what is the negative form of do? If I don't need the money,
I will work less.
I will work less. Very good. Third one? If clause?
If he asks on you on a date.
If he asks, my first answer. If he asks you on a date, what
will you say?
What will you say? Then make a තියෙන විදියට what would you say if he asked you on a date? ඔයාගෙන් ඇහුවනම් එයා කොහේ හරි එළියට යන්න. ගිහින් කතා බහ කරන්න ඔයාගෙන් ඇහුවනම් ඔයා මොකද්ද කියන්නේ? ඇහුවනම් කියන්නේ එයාගෙන් අහන එකක් නෑ කියන එකනේ. But if he asks, ඔයාගෙන් ඇහුවොත් something that can happen. වෙන්න පුළුවන් දෙයක්. ඔයා මොකද කියන්නේ? කියන එක තමයි මෙතන වෙනස. ඒක තේරුණාද? ඇහුවොත් කිව්වොත් if he asks ඇහුවනම් කියලා කිව්වොත් then it is past. අතීත කාලෙනේ. So it is not possible future. ඇහුවොත් ඒ කියන්නේ අහන්න පුළුවන් තාමත්. එහෙම දෙයක් ඇහුවොත් so it talks about possible future. Okay, so that's about the second conditional. Can you two write down 3 sentences each? All think about your day-to-day, life, and think about the things about your friends, your studies, your family, and the situation in the country, and write down 3 sentences in second conditional, which are very unlikely to happen in future. Have you finished? කාගේ ගෙදරද music class එකක් තියෙන්නේ? Okay. Right. Tarinder, tell me your sentences. Oh, if I had if I had a 100,000 soft drivers, subscribers, I could have a silver play Okay, I could have a silver play button. Very good. The other sentence? COVID-19 virus. You are still writing the second and third sentences. Okay, Himansa, tell me your first sentence.
If I were a bird,
If I were a bird,
I would fly around the country.
I would
Fly.
Let's use could. I could fly. එහෙම වුණා නම් මට පුළුවන් කියන එකනේ. I could fly around the world. Good. Are you ready with the second one?
If I had a big IQ,
If I had
big IQ level,
a big IQ level,
I passed the whole exam without studying. I
would
pass the exam, pass the whole exam without studying. All the exam.
All the exams. I would pass all the exams without studying. Okay, not bad. How about Tarinda? Are you ready with the second one? Okay. We wouldn't remove smalls. I want to read it. If we defeated COVID-19 virus, මේක තේරුම මොකක්ද තරින්ද? If we defeated coronavirus, we not wouldn't. It should be
Wouldn't.
It should be we could remove face masks. If we defeated COVID-19 virus, we could remove face. අපි මේක defeat කරා නම් අපිට remove කරන්න පුළුවන්. මෙතන couldn't not දැම්ම නම් remove කරන්න බෑ කියන එකනේ. එතකොට ඒ දෙකේ ගැළපීමක් නෑනේ. Okay? Okay, give me the third sentences. Mhm. Okay, next, Himansu.
If I had a Lamborghini, I would. No, I could.
If I had Lamborghini, do we spell Lamborghini?
Lambo.
Okay, Gene with a space. If I had a Lamborghini, no, it should be
I
Vio.
could.
Taparakin, I'm struggling with spellings here. Right. Okay, Himansa.
I could.
Uh,
I could ride the race.
I could.
Ride race maybe race.
I could drive another.
Could ride
Okay.
race
I could ride.
race.
Races. I could. I could. How do we say it? I could do car
Yes.
racing. Okay.
Okay.
I could do car racing. Good. So your sentences are all right. So before moving to the third conditional is the last conditional. So I told you there are 4 conditionals in English. Zero conditional, first conditional, second conditional, and third conditional. Third conditional is a little difficult. So before moving to third conditional, let's practice a little more sentences so that you can be familiar, in the sense you can be thorough. Let me open up this the activity sheet. Can you to see? Okay, so here don't match, write down the sentences. So select the appropriate, now on this side, on the left side, you have 8 sentences, both if clauses and the main clauses are there. And on your right side also equivalent, in the sense the counter clauses are there, both if clauses and main clauses are there. So select the appropriate matching clauses and write down complete sentences. So it should be 0, first and second conditionals. If you find anything going beyond or which are not belonging to 0, first and second conditionals, leave them. Have you finished? What is the meaning of babysit?
Laduruwan. ළමයි ලදරුවන්.
Babysit කියන්නේ පොඩි බබාලා බලා ගන්නවා කියන එකට. Okay? Babysitter කියන්නේ පොඩි අය බලා ගන්න කෙනාට. So babysit is the process of looking after babies. එතකොට මට ළමයාව බලා ගන්න යන්න තිබුණේ නැත්තම් කියන unless කියන්නේ නැත්තම් කියන එක. Unless I have work, I can come. මට වැඩ තිබුණ නැති වුණොත් මං එනවා කියන එක. Okay? Have you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Himansa?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. First one. If they don't stop that noise, what would you do? What is the answer?
C.
Okay, I'll go next door and complain. What is the conditional? Yes, good. Second one, if I had enough money for a holiday, Himansa,
Uh, if I could go to Iceland,
I would go
I
to
would go to Iceland.
Iceland. So what is the conditional, Himansa?
Second,
Second condition, good. Third one, Tarinder. If you can't repair your headphones, you might need to buy new ones. Method you might need to buy new ones means what happened? This is kind of future. You might need. So what's happening? If you can't repair your headphones, you might need to buy new ones. What is the conditional then, Tarinder? First condition is. Fourth one, what is the answer, Himansa?
if I ate that,
If
A.
I add that, what is the conditional?
Second
Second,
condition.
good. Tarinder, fifth one. If we had more space at home, we could have a dog. Conditional? Okay. Himansa, sixth one. Ice cream melts
If you don't keep in the freezer,
if you don't keep it in the freezer.
freezer.
Conditional?
Zero condition.
Yes, good. Tarinder, seventh one. I'll see you on Saturday night unless I have to babysit. So instead of if, here they have used the word unless. Okay. So what is the condition? Yes. And the last one, him answer. Call me.
Uh, if you fancy a chat,
Yes. Let's say if you want. मतलब fancy यानी if you like to have a chat with me, call me. Okay. So if you want a chat, call me. So what is the condition?
zero
Zero condition.
condition.
Okay, good. Let's finish the second one also quickly and move to third condition. So if there's something, not belonging to zero, first and second, you can leave it out. Have you finished? Oh, is it that difficult? Right. That's all right. Okay. But you should be more quick. Okay. Himansu?
Finish, ma'am.
Finish.
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, right. First one, Himansu. If the bus is late,
I will be.
good. I will be late for school. How about Tarinder? Okay. Second one, Tarinder. I'll phone Charlie from home later. If I first, second, or third? Oh, I'll. I'll. I will. Then what is the tense of the if clause? Oh, I will. එතකොට I will කිව්වම මොන conditional එකද? First conditional, then what should it be? In the main clause, this what we call the tense should be simple past. Then first එක හරියට කළා නම් ඒ දෙවෙනි එක බැලුනේ. Zero එකේ simple present දෙකම first conditional, simple present and future simple. So here I'll phone future simple. What is the conditional? You said it's first conditional. So in the first conditional, if if it is I'll phone, then in the main clause, what is the tense should be? Sorry. I got it, confused. If clause එකේ තියෙන්නේ මොකද්ද? What is in first conditional? What is the tense of the if clause? Simple present. Now in the second sentence, what is the if clause? If I, then my answers තුනෙන් simple present එක මොකද්ද? Remembered is past. Will remember is future. Remember is the present. So if I remember, in the main clause, what is the tense in first conditional? In the first conditional, what is the tense of the main clause? බලන්න දැන් මේකේ simple future ද තියෙන්නේ. I will phone. Is it correct? So answer should be the second one. I'll phone Charlie from home later if I remember. මට මතක් වුණොත් මම මේ චාලිට call කරන්න ගෙදරට ගිහින්. Did you get the answer? Did you understand? Okay. Himansa, third one.
I will buy.
If I go to the shops, I will buy some chocolate for you. Tarinder, did you get the same answer or different answer? Third one. If I go to the shops this afternoon, what is the answer? Okay, some chocolate for you. Right. Fourth one. Tarinder. What is the answer? I would lend it to you. So if I had, Himansa, did you get the same answer or different answer?
Yes, madam, same answer.
Okay, if I had enough money, I'd lend it to you. It means this person doesn't have enough money. So it should be second conditional. Fifth one, Himansa? I could borrow my parents' car if I had my driving license. Tarinder, what is your answer? Driving license. Driving license. Right. Sixth one, Tarinder. I wouldn't. Himansa?
I won't.
I want. So Himansa's answer is correct. Now here, look at Tarinder. Look at the sentence, Tarinder. What is the if clause here? If you tell me, what is the tense there? Simple present. Then conditionals වලින් simple present if clause එකේ තියෙන්නේ මොන වගේද? First conditional or the zero conditional. Okay, zero එකේ hari, first එකේ hari. Then zero එකේ if clause එක simple present now, in the main clause what is the tense? Same, simple present. In the first conditional, what is the tense in the main clause? Simple future. Then මෙතන simple present එකක් තියෙනවද answer එකේ? Is there a simple simple present tense in these answers? එහෙනම් මොනවද තියෙන්නේ? Which one is the future? Want is will not. එතකොට first conditional එක නේද මෙතන එන්න ඕන. I will not tell you. If you tell me, I will not tell anyone. ඔයා මට කිව්වොත් මම කාටවත් ඒක කියන්නේ නැහැ. Okay? Okay. Seventh one, who? Seventh one එක කාගේ chance එකද?
My chance.
Okay, tell me the answer.
I will have another piece.
If there's any cake
There's any
left,
cake left,
I'll have another
I will
piece.
have a piece.
Okay, good. Himansa, what is your answer? Sorry. Tarinder. Peace. I'll have another. So it's the same answer, okay? Right, now Tarinder. Okay, Himansa?
What would
Okay, so if you had 3 wishes, or again wishes, waram tunak tibbana, මොකද්ද wish කරන්නේ? Something like that. Okay, so something that is not going to happen. Good. So there are more exercises. We'll do them later if we have time. Otherwise, you will get them as homework. Let's quickly move to the third conditional. Okay. All right. So this is the last conditional. Can you just go through this explanation? So this is about what third conditional is. Okay, let me explain. The third conditional is used to imagine a different past. Now, in the second conditional, we talked about a past event which is not possible in future. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි මේ මොකද්ද if clause එකේ past tense එක ගැන කියන මේ දේ වුණා නම් ඉස්සරහට මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්න තිබුණා කියන එක. So which is not possible in future. In the third conditional, we talk about something different. So what is the difference there? We imagine a change in a past situation. ඒ කියන්නේ අපි අතීතේ වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරනවා ඒක මෙහෙම වුණා නම් ඒක අපි කියන්නේ try කරනවා අපි ඒක වෙනස් කරන්න. අතීත වෙච්ච දේ වෙනස් මේ විදියට වෙනස් වුණා නම් the result and the different result of that change. එහෙම වුණා නම් ඒකේ result එක මෙන්න මේ වගේ වෙන්න තිබුණා. So which is not possible at all. මේක සිද්ධ වෙන්නම බැරි දෙයක්. ගැන තමයි අපි කතා කරන්නේ. ඒ කියන්නේ අතීත වෙච්ච දෙයක්. So something has happened in the future, in the past. අතීත දෙයක් වෙලා තියෙනවා. හැබැයි ඒක වෙන විදියකට වුණා නම් ඒකේ result එක මෙන්න මෙහිම මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්න තිබ්බා කියන එක. Okay, so let's look at the examples, then you'll understand. So it is talking about something in the past that did not happen. ඒ කියන්නේ it something that happened in the past but it did not happen. අතීතේ වෙච්ච දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ. හැබැයි ඒක අතීතෙදී වෙලා නැහැ. වෙච්ච නැති වෙච්ච ඒ කියන්නේ සිද්ධ නොවුණු දෙයක් ගැන කතා කරන්නේ අතීතේ. Now look at this first example. If I hadn't become an English teacher, what does that mean? Am I an English teacher now? If I hadn't become an English teacher. So from this sentence or the clause, what do you understand? Am I a teacher now or am I not a teacher now?
Not a teacher.
If I hadn't become an English teacher, I would have moved to London. සම්පූර්ණ sentence එකම බලලා මට කියන්න. මම දැන් English teacher කෙනෙක්ද නැද්ද?
English teacher කෙනෙක් නෙමෙයි.
මේ කියන්නේ මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ටීචර් කෙනෙක් නොවුණා නම් මට ලන්ඩන් වලට යන්න තිබ්බා. එතකොට මම ඉංග්‍රීසි ටීචර් කෙනෙක්ද නැද්ද?
English teacher.
So I am an English teacher, but if I was not a teacher, I would have gone to London. If I hadn't become an English teacher, I would have moved to London. Okay? Look at this second. Third. I wouldn't worry if I were you. What does that mean? I'm sorry. So this is not third conditional. I've got it, yes. Okay, just give me 1 minute. Yes, it's a little difficult. Let me give you more examples. Wait, let me share. Okay, so in this sentence, in this sheet, look at these sentences are also a bit difficult. Okay, let me share another. Wait. Okay, so can you see this sentence? Okay, let me copy paste it here. I'm really sorry, something had gone wrong while preparing the handout. Okay, so look at these sentences. Look at the third one. If I had known, okay, so here, if I had known, I could have helped. So here, look at the if clause. If I had known, what does that mean?
මම දැනන් හිටියන්ට
Yes?
මම දැනන් හිටියා
Mama දැනන් හිටිය නම්. Okay, so now this talks about a past situation. Okay, so this is about a past situation which has not happened. ඒ කියන්නේ සිද්ධ වෙච්ච නැති අතීත කාලේ සිදුවීමක් ගැන මේ කියන්නේ. If I had known, so did she know this? Now they are in this sentence they are talking about an incident. සිදුවීමක් ගැන කතා කරනවා. අපි දන්නේ අපි ඒකට සිදුවීම කියලා කියමු. So did this person know about this situation or the incident in the past? No. If I had known, මම දැනගෙන හිටියනම්, what happens? The result would have been I could have helped. ඒ කියන්නේ මෙයා අතීතයේදී සිද්ධ වෙච්ච දෙයක් මේක එයා ඒ අතීතයේදී ඒ දේ දැනගෙන හිටියේ නැහැ. ඒක නිසා මෙයාට උදව් කරන්න බැරි වුණා. But now he says, if I had known it, I could have helped. මට උදව් කරන්න තිබ්බා. So which is not possible at all. So both this the if clause and the main clause talks about past incidents. So in the if clause, she talks about a past incident which has not happened and the possible result that would have been if the person knew the situation. Okay, right. The second one, look at the second one. Look at the if clause here. If you had told me, I would have remembered. So in this if clause, what do you think? From the if clause, can you understand what, can you tell me whether this person had whether this person had, known, not known, if you had told me, has this person told this story or not? Does this person know the story or not? No. So if you had told me, so this person doesn't know the story. So if you had told me, I would have remembered. The result would have been different. දැන් මෙතන කියපු නැති නිසා මම දන්නේ නැහැ. But මට කියලා තිබ්බනම් මට ඒක මතක තියෙන්න තිබ්බා කියන එක. So that is the difference in this third conditional. That's why I told you it's a bit difficult, a little confusing, but there's nothing much there. So what is the difference between this second conditional and the third conditional? In the second conditional, what do they talk about? if we had a garden,
garden,
we could have a cat. So there they talk about a future situation, which is not possible. Make a future situation එකක් ගැන කතා කරනවා. Now, if we had a garden, අපිට තිබ්බ නම්, so it's a past incident in the sense, if we had a garden, do we have a garden now? No. අපිට garden එකක් නෑ දැන්. ඒ වුණාට අපිට තිබුණ නම්, ඒ කියන්නේ අපිට මේ වෙනකොට මේ දේ තිබ්බ නම්, so this can be, we can consider this as a past or a present situation, and the result which is going to happen in the future is something unlikely. So it's a future result. But in the third conditional, both are past. මම මේක දැනගෙන හිටියා නම් ඒ past එකේදී result එක මේ විදිහට වෙන්න තිබුණා කියන එක. Okay? So both are past. Is it clear?
Yes.
Are you sure? What is it confusing? Then make a compare වෙනකොට නේද පටලැවෙන්නේ. So let me explain this to you in Sinhala. Now, I wouldn't worry if I were you. Okay? So here, if I were you, mama oya una nam. So here it's a what we call a past event. If I were you, ek possible nani. I wouldn't worry. Mang worry wenne na. So it talks about a future situation that I'm not going to worry at all. So it's a future impossible situation. But here in this sentence, if I had known, I could have helped. If I had known, this is a past situation which should, change. A සිද්ධ වෙච්ච incident එක හැබැයි වෙනස් වෙන්න ඕන. කියන මට දැන් සිද්ධ වෙලා තියෙන දේ නෙවෙයි, ඒක අනිත් පැත්ත වුණා නම් I could have helped. එතකොට මම මේ සම්පූර්ණ මේ ඉන්සිඩන්ට් එකම past එකේ ඉවර වෙච්ච දෙයක්. අන්න ඒක මතක තියාගන්නකෝ. එතකොට third conditional එකේ අපි කතා කරන්නේ අතීතෙදි සිද්ධ ඒ කියන්නේ මොකක් හරි දෙයක් සිද්ධ වුණා, ඒකේ result එකක් සිද්ධ වෙලා ඉවරයි. එතකොට මේ අතීත වෙච්ච දෙයක් මෙහෙම වුණා නම් මෙන්න මේ වගේ දෙයක් වෙන්න තිබුණා කියලා ඒක වෙනස් විදියකට හිතන එක තමයි වෙන්නේ third conditional එක. Okay, so let's practice a little in the sense some examples, then you'll be able to understand. Okay, look at the structure. So what are the if clauses in the what is the if clause in the first sentence? If I hadn't become an English teacher. What is the if clause in the second one?
Told me.
You had told me. Third one?
If I had known.
If I had known. Okay. Now tell me that, this, the sentence structure. So we have the if clause, and then we have we have if, then we have the subject I, then had not become, hadn't become. So here we have the past perfect tense, had. So had not, this is the negative form. Then, hadn't become. Hadn't become is the past perfect tense. Okay, so that is the if clause. Look at the second one. We have if, then the subject. Had told is the past perfect verb there. Then we have third one. We have if, then we have I, then had known. That is the past perfect verb. And then the main clause. What is the main clause of the first one?
I would have known. to London.
I would have moved to London. So it starts with the subject, then would plus have plus past participle. Would plus have plus past participle. In the second one, I would have remembered. I is the subject, then would plus have plus past participle. Third one also, I could have helped. So it's not just would. We can use both would and could. Okay. So would or could plus have plus past participle. So this is in past tense. එක පොඩ්ඩක් ලියා ගන්න මේ if ඉඳන් මෙතෙන්ට past perfect is the if clause. This is the tense of the main clause, structure of the main clause. ඒක කොහොමද මම මේව කරන්නේ? Shall I put it within brackets? Okay, so this is the if clause, structure of the if clause, and this is the structure of the main clause. Okay, just give me a second until I ask you a few questions, in the sense that until I ask you to write down some sentences. Okay, so you can see this the screen. Okay, now look at this example. I decided to become an English teacher. Okay, when I was 25. So I decided to become an English teacher because I wanted to be able to travel around the world and work at the same time. If I had not become an English teacher, I would have moved to London. So this is totally a past incident. දැන් මේක කතා කරන්නේ තනිකරම past incident එකක් ගැන. I decided to become an English teacher when I was 25. Already decided. එයා English teacher කෙනෙක් වෙන්න තීරණය කළා. Because I wanted to be able to travel around the world and work at the same time. ලෝකෙ වටේ යන්නයි වැඩ කර ලෝකෙ වටේ යන්න තමයි ඕන වුනේ. If I had not become an English teacher, මම English teacher කෙනෙක් නොවුන නම් what would have happened? I would have moved to London. මගේ තීරණය එහෙම වෙන්නේ නැතුව මම English teacher කෙනෙක් නොවි වෙන කෙනෙක් වුණා නම් එයා මොකද කරන්නේ? I would have moved to London. එතකොට මෙතන කතා කරන්නේ now at the beginning she decided to become an English teacher. හැබැයි එයාගේ තීරණය වෙනස් වුණා නම් එහෙනම් ඒ කියන්නේ දැන් එයා English teacher කෙනෙක්ද නැද්ද?
Teacher කෙනෙක්.
එයා teacher කෙනෙක් දැන්. හැබැයි ඒක වෙනස් වුණා නම් එයා English teacher කෙනෙක් නොවි වෙන කෙනෙක් වුණා නම් I would have moved to London. Okay, now you write this sentence down. Think of a situation. Now think of a situation in the past that has already happened. Then සිද්ධ වෙච්ච incident එකක් ගැන හිතාගෙන ඔයාලා ලියන sentence එක ඒකේ අනිත් පැත්ත වුණා නම් කියලා if දැන් මෙන්න මේ structure එක use කරන්න if I not become teacher move London. ඒ වගේ කියන්නේ සම්පූර්ණ අර ස්ට්‍රක්චර් එකට දාන්න ඕනේ නැහැ. ඔයාලා දන්න වචන වලින් ලියන්න. ඒ කියන්නේ වචන ටිකක් ලියන්න. if එතකොට කවුද සබ්ජෙක්ට් එක ඔයාද නැත්නම් heද sheද motherද කියලා ඩිසයිඩ් කරන්න. if the situation එක ඩිසයිඩ් කළා ලියන්න ඒකට ගැලපෙන වචන ටික later let's put it into the proper structure. Oh, මෙතන if I had no make ඔයාලා use කරන මේක හරි proper විදියට ලියලා නැහැනේ third conditional එකේ. ඒ වගේ now let me give you an example. Now if mother not die එතකොට මම කියන්නේ if my mother had not died කියලා මට ඒ විදිහට පස්සේ හරි proper sentence එකකට දාගන්න පුළුවන්. තේරුණාද ඔයාලට ඒක? Okay, so this is a little different. Oh, ඔයාලගේ sentence එක. You should think of your own sentence. Finished. Have finished. Tarinda and Himansa, can you give me your sentence? In the sense, the words you wrote down? Okay, tell me. If I had played, I would have won. Okay. අපි ඒක polish up කරගමු. If I had played well or better, I would have won the match. Okay, if I had played better, I would have won the match. Good. Himansa.
If she had married Tarinda,
Okay.
She she could
Uh,
spend
she
spent
could have
have spent beautiful life.
spent a beautiful life. Very good. Again, Terungaru. Okay. If she had married Tarinda, it means she is not married to Tarinda, she is married to somebody else.
Yes.
America she could have spent a beautiful life. A beautiful life. So if we go to the first one, if I had played better, have you played better? It means in real you have not played better. ඒ කියන්නේ හොඳට play කරලා නැහැ. ඔයා කතා කරන්නේ මට කෙරුවා නම් I would have won the match. Okay, write down another 2 sentences each quickly. Okay, write down your own 2 sentences. If you finish it soon, move to this exercise. Can you see the screen?
Yes, madam.
Start working on this exercise. First, you have to write down your own 2 sentences, okay? Then go to this exercise. I'll quickly go to my office and come, okay? Is it all right for you to, is it all right if I continue this for another 15-20 minutes?
Okay.
Okay, right. I'll be back soon.
ඒක එච්චර අමාරුකුත් නෑ නේ. ඔව්.
Right. Have you finished writing your 2 sentences? Okay. Tariq, tell me your sentence. If uh, we had made cake, we would have served them. Okay, not bad. Himansu, tell me your second sentence also. If he, okay, he would have been promoted. මෙතන you are using passive voice also. Now here he would have, who's promoting he? Okay, then your subject should be boss would have promoted him in the position. දැන් ඔයා ඉස්සෙල්ලා දැන් මේක passive voice දැන් ඔන්න passive voice අපහු අමතක වෙලා කරින්ද. Okay, so if you are using him here, then it should be he would have, මොකද structure been promoted in by the boss in the position. අපිට by the boss ද කවුද කියන එක වැදගත් නෑනේ. So he would have been promoted in the position. මේක highlight ඔයාගේ sentence එක highlight කරගෙන after the lecture go back to your this passive voice lesson and see. Okay? Right. Himansa, your 2 sentences.
If I had studied well,
If I had
studied
well,
I could have got a good job.
Okay. Next one, second one.
If I had a big body, I could have played rugby. Played.
Okay, so move to this the activities. තරින්දට අර passive voice එක තේරුණා නේද? So hereafter be more careful. Now these are the things you have already learned. Don't make errors. Have you finished the first one in this exercise? Okay, finish it till you. Do you need more time? How about Himansu?
Finish. But
Both have finished. Okay, first one, Himansu. I wouldn't have overslept. What is the meaning of overslept?
ගොඩක් නිදාගෙන
Oh, I can't ඔනවටත් වඩා නිදියගෙන. Right. I
if
wouldn't
my
have,
alarm clock had gone off
if my alarm clock had gone
off.
off. So here in the if clause we have if. My alarm clock is the subject, had gone is the, the verb. Sorry, had gone off is the whole verb. It's a phrasal verb. Right. Second one, Tarinder. Yes. If she had gone to bed earlier, she would not have been so tired. All right, Prashna, have you got any questions to ask on these sentences? No. Are they very clear? Okay, right. Third one, Himansu.
If you asked,
If you'd asked, I could have lent you the money if you had asked. ආට එකන අයට සල්ලි දෙන්න තිබුණා ඔයා මගෙන් ඉල්ලුවා. Right. Fourth one, Tarinder. Here now, I could have lent you the money. Lent means night සල්ලි දෙනවා කියන එක. You අතමාරු කරගන්නවා. So සල්ලි දෙනවා කියන එක. I could have lent you the money if you had asked. ඔයා මගෙන් ඉල්ලුවා නම් මම ඔයාට දෙනවා. But this is a past incident. You didn't ask me, so I didn't give you. But if you had asked, I could have lent you the money. ඔයා ඉල්ලුවා නම් මට දෙන්න තිබ්බා. තේරුණාද? Okay, fourth one. Yes, they wouldn't have found out if you hadn't told them. So this is in negative. කිව්වේ නැත්තම් එයාලට හොයාගන්නේ නැහැ. So in negative form, wouldn't and hadn't. Himansu, fifth one.
if you had studied medicine,
If you had studied medicine, you could have been a doctor. Good. Sixth one. Very good. If you had been more organized, you wouldn't have been so stressed at the last minute. Again, meet වඩා හොඳට organize කරගෙන කාලේ manage කරගෙන කෙරුවා නම් අන්තිම මොහොතේ මෙච්චර stress out වෙන්නේ නැහැ. Right. Seventh one.
they would have had so many problems.
If they had taken my advice, they wouldn't have had so many problems. මගේ අවවාද පිළිගත්ත නම් එයාලට මෙච්චර ප්‍රශ්න ඇති වෙන්නේ නැහැ. So they didn't take my advice. මගේ advice පිළිගත්තේ නැහැ. ඒක නිසා එයාලට ප්‍රශ්න ගොඩක්. That's the real situation, but they're talking about the other way around. පස්සට මොනවද තියෙන ප්‍රශ්න කිව්වේ තයින්ද? Okay, right. So, shall we finish the second one also quickly? So all these sheets I have things I got from internet. So in the British Council website online, you get all these explanations, exercises with answers, etc. Okay. So at home, if you have access to internet, please do go through such sites and practice. Okay. There are two more down. Have you finished the first four?
Yes.
Himansa?
Yes, ma'am.
Finish these two also quickly. Okay. Do the fifth on the other one, Himansa. Have you all finished? Himansa?
Ma'am.
Have you finished?
Yes, ma'am.
Tarinda? Okay. Right. First one. Tell me, Tarinda. Sorry? No, you can't start with if because I is a simple there. Then make a balana. Now you should look at the sentence properly. So there's a full stop here and there's no comma. You know, I told you right at the beginning, there are two ways of writing these sentences. If you are writing the if clause first, you put a comma after the if clause, then you write the main clause. If you are writing the main clause first, you are not using any commas. එක මතකයි නේද? දෙවිදියටම අපිට ලියන්න පුළුවන් නේ. එතකොට මෙතන ඉස්සෙල්ලම එන්නේ මොකද්ද? I would have remembered. Okay, I would have remembered if you'd, it means if you had told me. So I would have remembered if you'd told me or if you had told me. කවුද අපේ මේ හිමංස තේරුණා නේද?
මම
ඒක හරිද ඔයාගේ සෙන්ටෙන්ස් එක?
අර ටික මාරුලා තිබ්බේ.
මාරු වෙලා තිබා. අන් දැන් දෙවෙනි එකේ ඉඳන් ඒක හරියට කියන්න ඕන.
Okay.
Okay, now Himansa, tell me the second sentence.
If she had revised more,
If she had revised more,
she would have passed the exam.
she would have passed the exam. Tarinda, is that correct? Revised. Okay, right. Tarinda, third one. Arrived. And Himansa, did you get it right?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, good. Fourth one, Himansa.
If you had met him, no, if you had been here, been there,
If you had been there,
you would,
you'd
you could have met him.
Okay. If you'd been there, if you had been there, you could have met him. Tarinda? No, it should be if you had been there. Oh no, then varadagina. In the if clause, what is the sentence structure, Tarinda? If plus subject plus, what is the tense? Is it simple past? Yes. You're confusing me also. Okay. It should be past perfect. So what is the past perfect? The verb with the past perfect. What is the verb with the past perfect? You had. Okay. If you had been there, you could have met him. You have to think very carefully and critically. Okay. Right. Fifth one, Tarindama kiyanba. Yes, Tarinda. Tell me the sentence again. If I'd known, if I had known. Good. Did you get it right, Himansa?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay, sixth one also Tarinda kiyanba. If දාන්න බෑනේ මෙතන ඉස්සරහට. You could have no, ඒ මොකද්ද?
Gone and when you wanted.
Try කරන්න ආපහු. You, then now here, which clause are you giving first? Main clause or the if clause? In the main clause, what is the structure? මතක් කරන්න. Yes.
plus past perfect.
No, in the main clause, would or could plus have plus past participle. Okay, now here you, what is the next should be? Could or would. So here, what is the word you find? You could have, what is the past participle? You could have gone if, what is the subject? Subject. දැන් මෙතනින් කපා ගන්නකො you could have gone. දැන් තියෙන if එකයි wanted to එකයි you'd එකයි නේද? ඒක දාන්න හරියට. If you could නෑනේ පුතා. මේකේ you could have gone. ඒක අපි දාලා ඉවරයිනේ. බලන්න මේ you එකයි could I don't know how to highlight the the words simultaneously. You එක යනවා. Okay?
අද උඩ තියෙන මේ highlight අතන
could have gone. ඒකනේ අපේ main clause එක. You could have gone. දැන් ඉතුරු if එකයි wanted to එකයි you'd එකයි, right? So how do we put it in the proper order? If you had wanted to. So you had is the, so we have if, then we have you, the subject, then had is the past participle form, then wanted to. So you could have gone if you had wanted to. Did you get it right, Himasa?
Yes, ma'am.
Okay. Tharinda, you should practice more. Okay? Right. So since we are, done with the 2 exercises and time is over, let's finish for the day. So this is all about conditionals in English. Have you got any questions? Anything to ask, anything to get clarified? No, Tharinda. මම ඒක දැන් දාන්නම්. I'll send it right now. And I'll send you these exercise sheets also. Exercise sheets. If okay, shall we do something like this? Can we meet, do you have lectures tomorrow? You're free in the afternoon. Then can we have a class tomorrow afternoon just to, do the exercises? Instead of sending this to you and getting your answers, because I don't think I'll have much time to go through your answers. Let's meet up online and discuss it and finish it off. Okay, so tomorrow, starting from 10, 11, 12, 1, I have a lecture at about 2. Shall we meet up at 2 o'clock? Right, so tell the others also, but ask the others if they are coming tomorrow, ask them to, study this condition, the last 2 conditions, second and third conditions, and come, okay? I'm sending you the handout now, but the exercises we'll do tomorrow, okay?
Okay.
Right. So thank you, Tharinda and Himansu, for coming.
Thank you, madam.